Hello, and thank you for coming to Compass Starlight. We are going to do a reading for the week. Let's see what kind of energies we have coming in. We do have an eclipse. We have a full moon on Monday the 25th, and we have an eclipse on that date as well. So throwing in an extra deck here. All of the cards were shuffled off camera, but we'll take a few more runs through. Let's see what kind of things Source would like to tell us. What kind of information would Source like to impart upon us? We have the Queen of Swords coming out here for the first card. The Queen of Swords. This deck from which the Queen of Swords came out is the Moon and Stars Tarot, and then the deck in my hands is the Mantegna Tarot, which is a deck of archetype cards. We have Theology, and we have Strength coming out here. Next we have this Spanish Tarot. What kind of messages would serve us this week? Sometimes I interpret strength in this deck a different way, so I'm curious to see what other cards we get for confirmation. Queen of Swords in this deck, the Moon and Stars Tarot, represents independence. All right, I'm going to cut this. The Nine of Swords. And then this last deck is the Starseed Oracle. We have Big Picture Thinking that flipped out. The Nine of Swords, Big Picture Thinking. We have Theology. This is an archetype for humility, trust, and higher wisdom. Trust and higher wisdom. Big picture thinking. This sphere here is very much depicting being guided by the stars. This big picture thinking is Pleiades energy, visionary, inspired ideas. Inspired ideas and trust higher wisdom. This very much speaks of the High Priestess. A knowingness, but what we have here is the Queen of Swords with the illuminated crown. A card of independence and connection with a deeper knowledge and wisdom. The Queen of Swords is very much tapped into strength and determination and a higher perception. The sword's suit is a suit of clarity, of knowledge, of intellectual prowess. The characters in the suit of swords tend to be direct, sometimes cutting with their words, honest, blunt. They don't mince words and they get to the point in most cases. Sometimes the Queen of Swords can be seen as being cutting and brutal, but it really depends on the environment and the situation. This is about speaking your truth and following your convictions, being resolute in your design, resolute in your plans, or standing up for your own beliefs, following through and standing your ground in terms of your values, your beliefs, and your plans. Strength also here is a card of standing up for oneself, having the strength to, like I just said, stand up for oneself. There is a column here, and you see that this protagonist is either supporting this or cutting this column. The column does provide strength, and perhaps since it has been cut, the protagonist is offering the support because the column is failing. It's difficult to discern because it does not look like she has an implement of a blade in her hand. It looks more like a scepter. It does not appear that this protagonist has actually cut this column, but perhaps is offering the support and strength because the column is not intact. Bottom line is, this is a card about having a backbone, being able to stand up for yourself. So the Queen of Swords and the Strength card here are about standing up for oneself, standing up for one's convictions, being resolute in one's ideas, ideals, and values. The archetype for strength is energy, act quickly and decisively, and yet we're also being asked to have this big picture thinking here, which is pulling back and taking a larger perspective and not focusing on the minutia. Act quickly and decisively, knowing that there is a bigger plan, and you can be direct in your communication. Trust in your own higher wisdom. Trust in the wisdom to which you have access through your intuition. Now, the Nine of Swords is about having a roadblock, a barricade. It is a self-imposed limit. This is your own doubts and fears that you let get the better of you. It is overthinking certain ideas. You're being asked this week to consider all the wisdom and experience you have, to examine the patterns that you live, the patterns that maybe you have worked to overcome and change, the patterns that other people and other situations show to you. And with that information, hopefully you've spent the weekend considering all of these things. And that's what the weekend reading was suggesting, was that you take some time to consider. And now you're being asked to step into the change that is being brought in by the full moon and the eclipse. Now is the time to take action. After assessing and analyzing, you have all the information you need. Now is the time to take action. And this Nine of Swords here is saying there is a block that you have imposed upon yourself, a block that only you can overcome. These are your own doubts and fears, and this is the last step to settling into the big picture thinking, settling into the new path that is being designed for you in the stars. This is a path you have co-created with spirit, with source, by your thoughts, by your feelings, and your desires on a daily basis, all the things that you encounter. I like this, this makes me feel good. I don't like this, I don't want this does not make me feel good. This is about pursuing your heart's desire. This is about being open-hearted and following your heart into your life's path so that it will yield to you all of the abundance and prosperity that you deserve. I will read this big picture thinking card here. from the Starseed Oracle. The Pleiadians are our cosmic cousins. They're here to remind us that it's never too late to learn new things and to change the future. You're being called to be a visionary for the planet, to take a breath, shake off what you've been taught about the world, and hold a new vision for humanity. You're likely a natural big picture thinker, here to generate ideas for the future, here to birth a new age and dream a new world into being. The future will be woven by dream makers like you, by those with enough courage to question the way things have been and envision new possibilities for the planet. The world needs more artists, dreamers, inventors, and visionary thinkers. Perhaps you've had an idea recently that you're being called to usher in. If so, this card is your confirmation that it's divinely guided. The Pleiadians support us in this important stage of Earth's development. They want us to know that the decisions we make today will affect the well-being of our planet and all its species. They're calling on you to be a leader of the future, to hold a clear vision of what's possible, to trust that vision and follow it through with daily action, to dream a new world into being, to hold your mind open and try not to worry about what others think. For it takes great courage to pave a new path and to trust a vision before it's a reality. The Starseed Soul Inquiry asks, how are you being called to step up and lead? What new ideas or creations are you being called to pursue? Now finally, I am going to pull a card here for clarity over this reading for the week. I am going to pull a card from the Visconti Tarot. This is my tiny little deck. I'm just going to try to get a card of clarity. Okay, I did have 2 cards flip here. 2 threes. Okay. Alright, let's see. I can't read these as they are. One looks like the 3 of Swords. Yes. The 3 of Swords. And the 3 of Pentacles. This almost feels like a choice to me. All of your growth, the potential path that you have, the path that you've been walking with a direction implied from your own clarity, from lessons learned, and from self-exploration. In other words, you've done some healing, you've done some work on yourself, and that healing and that work on yourself has led you in a certain direction on your path. You have grown. And that work you've done on yourself has gotten you to a point where you have worked to heal the wounds of past heartbreaks. Now your opportunity is to go forward towards this portal, to see what lays beyond the portal, what is on the other side, all that potential that you know is out there, but yet it is unknown. Now is your opportunity to put in the work to step forward through that portal onto the other side and see what kind of prosperity that path truly yields to you. You can let this Nine of Swords card, this fear, this self-imposed fear and doubt stop you. You can let it stop you because you know that in the past you've had heartbreaks and maybe you feel like you don't want to go through that again. You could be heartbroken. Every time you take a risk, you can suffer a loss. Every time you take a risk, you know that that is a potential outcome. And yet, we're not focusing on the loss. Yes, being aware of certain realities, potential realities, I suppose, is advised, but we don't focus on the loss of the past. That you're being given the opportunity to let go of these fears and trust that you're not going to experience this Three of Swords heartbreak again. Instead, you can put in the energy and effort to work together. This is an investment in the material world, an investment of time and energy to construct some kind of contract, some kind of project. It could be a relationship, to work together with someone else or others who are willing to put in the same amount of effort to build something better for the future. Are you afraid of making an investment into your own future? Are you afraid of taking the next step through that portal to see what the possibilities will yield to you because you've been hurt in the past? Are you willing to let go of the past hurts because you've done all the healing and trust that you have the strength to work, to put in the pentacles, to work towards the betterment of your life and of reflecting that growth and higher vibration back out to the world? Are you going to trust that as you step through that portal, the universe will yield unto you prosperity and abundance that you deserve? That's the message for the week. That's the message I'm picking up for this weekly reading. We're going to have a full moon on the 25th and an eclipse. That eclipse energy will show us a full moon and then briefly show us a crescent moon again, a new moon, as the earth moves between the sun and the moon, casting its shadow over the moon. It'll be a very interesting energy. Pay attention to how you feel. This is the message I have for the weekly reading. Thank you for coming to Compass Starlight. Be well.